This is Sydney Clifton reading an unpublished poem by Lucille Clifton. I am the poet's daughter. Poets in their bassinets dream a splendid woman holding over their baby eyes a globe shining with possibility. Someone, she smiles, has to see this and report it, and they, in their innocence, believing that all will be as beautiful as she is, whimper, use me, and oh, how terrifying that she does. About this poem. I don't write out of what I know, I write out of what I wonder. Poetry and art are not about answers to me, they are about questions. Lucille Clifton. My mother poemed out of wonder. Why this or that, how so, and what if? She was accepting of answers both glorious and terrifying. Lucille wondered about all life, all lives, past, present, future, but most meticulously her own. This poem is Lucille's description of the soul-deep covenant between poets and poetry.
Say, has you heard the news?
Yeah. I want to tell him. I want to tell him.
Gentlemen, the news is riveting, absolutely riveting.
What the boys are trying to say is that Parker Brothers Popeye, Cubert, and Frogger are not only available for the Atari 2600, but for the Commodore 64 home computer, Atari 5200, and ColecoVision. About as close to real arcade graphics and action as you can get.
One thing I hate sets a pushy announcer. Popeye, Cubert,
And Frogger.
also for all Commodore, Atari systems, and TI. Now's your nose.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Marv Howard, and we're here today to talk about his book. It's one of my favorite ones where they keep switching out the wife and they start building the
Wife for Sandy Harg.
Sandy Harg. That's spooky. That could be like a Twilight Zone.
Oh, I agree. That would have been a perfect one for back in the Rod Serling days. Picture, if you will.
A little bit for a second about the illustrations that are in the book. Each one of the tales has a really well thought out illustration that captures, the humor or just sometimes the horror of the story.
I generated the illustrations using AI software.
Really?
I wrote prompts, taking scenes from the ballad or the story and I would tweak the prompt until it generated the scene that I wanted. So yes, those are all AI generated. Very 21st century.
It is 21st century, and yet because you use the same strategy, across the book, there is a sense of a common illustrator. Because I was going to say, well, who illustrated this thing? They really nailed each story, the specifics of the stories. You did that.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. It was literally, I love playing with stuff like that because I try to use it in my work in teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the latest tools for educators and stuff.
Sure.
Latest technologies. And I just decided, well, can I get this software to do what I want it to do?
Yeah.
And it came back with stuff that I think one of my first efforts was perfect. And I'm like, okay, I'm hooked. And so I spent like weeks going through all the ballads and tales and, oh, this person is only supposed to have 5 fingers on one hand, not 20.
There's a spookiness that goes through it. And as you said, it was kind of by design that the tales get darker. There was, with the pretty traditional story with the mom wipes out the kids, and then she's looking for them again, or calling to them. We don't want to. We've been there, done that, Mom. A little bit like the Llorona in Mexican culture. I grew up with that. Every stream, maybe puddle we went by, my grandparent or someone would say, "Oh, I heard the Llorona down the street." I guess she gets around.
Well, the idea of a mother who kills her children because she can't feed them is just such a horrific story of poverty and suffering in and of itself. And yet, again, it was probably more common. Hopefully, it's less common now.
Yeah.
But it was probably more common in that time and place 300 years ago, that people would understand what happened, and the idea that the children had voices beyond the grave and I'm sure that mother was haunted.
Well, it's oppressive times and poverty and just caught between, like you said at the beginning, these people who are stuck in between.
Right.
How would they cope with life? It weaves out in their stories.
We have it so well, despite some of the things we complain about. We live better than most people have in the last, since people showed up on this planet.
Yeah.
The fact that you and I are sitting here having a conversation across 2,000 miles of distance, and is just something that never would have happened a century ago, much less. And it's witchcraft. It's magic.
I just like that melancholy close at the end of the book, where they're going away, they're to the west, and folks just taking off, and you end with this very short statement, so we may not see these likes again, we may not encounter these folks again unless kind of a lot of things change. It's almost internally. I don't know if we have control. We're all in borderlands in a way.
Well, that's just it. I think that for us to meet them again, we have to grow into being our own better angels. We have to learn to be those people, the good neighbors, because I think that they came and they taught us, gave us examples, and then they said, okay, you're kicked out of the nest. You're on your own.
They're moving off in these hills, and it's a very perfect way to close the book, because you don't spend a whole other chapter, and this is what we've learned from this. But if you've read through the book with a good heart, you get that message is received. Just as like when you were a kid, you were in search of evidence, and then you wrote a book in search of Elfland, and it really is about the quest that shows that it existed.
It's definitely a snapshot of where I was 2 times in my life. In the early 90s, when I went back to go to grad school, and I was working on my master's thesis, I thought that was such an incredible time for music and art and society. Clinton had been elected.
Yeah.
Happy days are here again, sort of.
Yeah.
It just seemed so exciting. And you believed the magic was coming back. It was there. And then 2 years ago, during the pandemic, when everything was locked down and things were looking bleak, and the news reports every day where so many thousands of people a day are dying because they weren't getting inoculated, because they weren't looking after themselves. They were dying of stupidity. And so, yeah, I was a little bleak. And it seemed worlds separated from the 1993-94 optimism. Cracker was exploding. I was working as a DJ while I was going to grad school. I was pushing the Bodines and Cracker. I remember going to an after hours, 3 in the morning, and one of my friends had just found Eurotrash Girl out on track 69. And the whole party after hours just stopped while he turned it up to like 8. And we all listened to it, and we were just like, wow.
Yeah. I have a song on that first album, another song about the rain, and Jon had given me a poem. It was this long, it was like 5 pages, and it but had the title of another song about the rain. I go, oh, it's a long story. I don't know if it could ever be a song. Just sort of reset myself and tried to get into the feel of that story, and I came up with that little riff, and I go, oh man, I got a good riff. Now I got to finish this song. It was in Pioneer Town that Johnny convinced me to come out and play like this midnight show with him. Okay, so I'm out there, and he's going to bring me up on stage. But before he does, he plays another song about the rain. And I'm standing behind him, so I'm just looking at the audience out there. And he did that. It was probably the nicest gesture. And we've known each other since 1978. But it's the nicest thing he could do for me, because what he wanted me to see is how people loved that song, and they knew it word for word. And it was just kind of pouring over, and they're all singing this thing back. And he just wanted me to see that. It's like, Chris, you have this tremendous fan base that you know nothing about, and they only know your name. And now after that night, we were able to, see us perform, and it really reset, what I did with the Dangers from that time forward. And Jon was being a good neighbor. Is there anything else you want to say about Elfland? I think we got this, like the spirit of the book. I think we captured it.
I've been putting together a list of about 10 to 12 of the ballads and trying to organize them into a story of one night of essentially an elf party. And I've been fooling around with GarageBand a little bit.
Okay.
And just trying to see if I can get them into an order and tell a story musically.
It's a great idea. And it would be a great compliment to this book, because it sort of takes it to that next, it's you're being a good neighbor with your own book.
My hope is if somebody decides they want to publish it, maybe I could do another collection. There are literally hundreds of Scottish ballads and folk tales.
It begs for a volume 2.
Thank you. It's been really fun talking about this stuff, and fun. This is the longest you and I have ever chatted. Hi. It's good to get to know you better.
Dr. Marv Howard, we appreciate you being on the Lo-Fi Lounge.
Well, thanks for having me, Chris.
Hey kids, more fun than a circus. The new Mattel musical toys. Here's Maddie Mattel and the Mattel Jack in the Music Box. Turn the crank, play a tune, and surprise! Up pops the Jack. Here's Popeye in the music box. Play the Popeye song as you turn the crank. Up pops a can of spinach. Then Popeye himself. Here's the new Mickey Mouse music box with Pluto, Goofy, Donald Duck, and the pop-up star of the show, Mickey Mouse. Hurry, hurry to the greatest musical show on earth, featuring 3 happy-go-lucky Mattel guitars. Turn the crank, strum the strings, play a merry tune. The Mouse Guitar Jr. plays the Mouseketeer song. The Cowboy Guitar plays a Western song. And the Popeye Guitar plays Popeye the Sailor Man. Look, use Popeye's pipe to play your own tune. Come on, kids, get these Mattel musical toys wherever toys are sold, from $1.70 to $3. Remember, you can tell it's Mattel. It's swell.
Fading away. Last night as big as life, going fades in the day. Going fades in the day. the rabbit ears. They throw the courthouse open wide, and they jerk the souvenirs. They jerk the souvenirs. You can't be a stranger. Be a stranger. Yeah, yeah, you can't be a stranger on your own. When the lights are shining across the night of tears, I'm hearing music on the silent streets, but that's music to my ears. It's music to my ears. I leave the window open, 'cause there is songbird here. And pretty bird wants to sing for me before we disappear. Before we disappear. Yeah, yeah. Be a stranger. Yeah, yeah. You could be a stranger. On your own.
Now we can't have any fun.
Yes, we can, Cromwell. We could play with Popeye the Weatherman.
You mean Popeye the Sailor Man?
No, Popeye the Weatherman. Watch. It's a new toy by Colorform. And now Popeye has this friend, Little Buddy. When it's raining outside, you dress Little Buddy in a rainy day outfit. When it's sunshiny outside, you put up the sun, bring out the flowers, put on his sunsuit. When it snows, you dress Little Buddy in a snowsuit. Only $1.98 and 98 cents. It's more fun to play the Colorform's way.
Popeye the Weatherman? Say, that's a good idea.
This is called Giraffe. That was the point when the colors were gone on a Halloween night with the Halloween songs and a mask on my face. It wasn't meant to disguise. Drinking my way through a couple old habits, and I'm crying along with the frightened rabbit. And I stand in my place and keep the spit in my eye. Well, she looked at me and she started to laugh. Said, quit your complaining, boy. Become a giraffe, a giraffe. Yeah, I stared out through the methadone haze, through the halogen lights at the halocene haze, and you raised up your glass. Said there's no shame for getting the dead. You said I got tired of the trouble down there, so I'm standing up here with my head in the air, 'cause it's too high for ghosts to make a home in my head. Yeah, the ground is littered with the ghosts of the past. So you look to the sky, you become a giraffe, a giraffe. Don't look down. Don't look down, 'cause there's nothing down there with your eyes to the ground but the pain and the trouble you already found. Well, lately these days, when I think back to you and the way that you broke through the chains at the zoo, and the way that your words gave a much needed slap to my face. And now when I stare through the peat and the smoke, and my fears and my worries are making me choke, well, I raise up my cane, I see the beauty and grace. Yeah, the ground is littered with the bones of the past. So look to the sky, become a giraffe, a giraffe. Don't look down. Don't look down. 'Cause there's nothing to be gained with your eyes to the ground, but the pain and the trouble you already found. Hey, yeah, there's nothing down here but the hurt and the trash. So look to the sky, become a giraffe, a giraffe. Thank you so much.
Wait, just a little bit.